YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, coming to you from the pitch flow, whatever the heck that is. It's going to be a double Beastmen versus double Empire, technically. So we got Balthasar Gelt and probably Boris Todbringer leading up Middenland, so this should be interesting. And then we take on Beastmen led by Malagor, and we'll see what the other army is. Oh, you gotta love a Balthasar battle. And there's Witch Hunters. Hey, sorry if I haven't announced the motherboard winners yet. I'm just really behind because I've had the sick family this week. And been really behind. I'm trying to get caught up. I know it should have been out a while ago. It will get announced. There will be winners. And I will announce it. I have another video I'm going to be doing to kind of show off a cool computer build with MSI. And I'm going to announce it at the beginning of that. And then also at the same time, I'm going to open up a little Christmas giveaway for all you awesome folks as well. If you want to join it, I'll be giving away some cool gaming peripherals and a couple of air antiquities, I guess. Antiquities. Collectibles. That's probably the better way to say it. Like, I'll be giving away the microphone I used for a long time, autographed, and a couple of other things, which, if anybody's looking to collect something that was a part of the channel, maybe that's a big deal to you. Maybe you'll enjoy that. That'll be available. So let's see, yeah, Boris, Amber Wizard on a Griffin. I haven't seen a lot of those recently, since they got debuffed a little. Balthasar is rocking, looks like Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation and Searing Doom. And then the two Beastmen armies, we got a Gorebull. Ooh, love the Minotaurs. Two more Gorebulls. Malagor. Got ourselves a Cygor already up. And let's see what else we got. Some Bestigor, Gore Herds. Looks like this may have been a slightly smaller funds battle in order to limit the number of units on the battlefield. That's sometimes smart to do when you're doing a 2v2. There is a Demigryph Knights with Halberds hidden over here. It looks like one Beastman player is going to go ahead and make an assault. Going uphill here. This is going to be rough. Final Transmutation. Interesting place to use the Final Transmutation. It's a lot of magic to spend on just a Centaur with great weapons. Maybe he felt like it was worth it over here, though, because he wanted to save these Free Company militia. Flagellants seem like they might have been able to do that, though. So interesting choice of magic for that Beastman player. Frontline engagement should go pretty good for Beastmen, as long as they don't get outflanked too quickly by this little murder brigade up here in the air, which, look at Gorebull, just completely ignores the front line and says, I am your emperor. And he's going to do it. Yeah, right here, this isn't going to bode well for the Beastmen. If the terror gets started here, what would have been a fight in favor of the Beastmen is going to quickly sour against the Beastmen, I believe. We'll see. But the Chaos Spawn raised up by Morgur, it'll help control that a little bit, not in its entirety, and honestly the Beastmen have been winning the battle so much so far that it was actually a big deal. The Flagellants are looking to come over here and outflank. Gorebull is destroying the artillery, which should help the Cygor in the end. There are some Harpies moving in, and although the attacks weren't perfectly coordinated, the Empire also had an army over here that was somewhat out of position to help. They should have been ready to immediately outflank and destroy this one, but by not doing it, the second Beastman player is now able to make a flank assault here. So this is actually going to be looking pretty good for the Beastmen at the moment, as they're going to be pushing up against the... I'm going to turn this off real quick. Steam notifications, there we go. Yeah, as they're going to be pushing up the flank of Boris Todbringer's army here. The Harpies are here. Not sure exactly what they're doing yet. Here comes a Flock of Doom on the Beastmen infantry. Again, maybe a bit late on that. And then same thing with the Net of Ammontok. Fixing these guys a little further away. So again, if I was going to use the net, I would have fixed them out here and then use that opportunity to give your teammate time to come in and seal up this flank before this happened. Because now there's some pretty massive disarray. There's a summoned Cygor that can cause terror behind the Empire lines, and you can imagine why. That's pretty terrifying. The two Griffins are looking awesome, and man, I don't miss seeing these guys be overpowered, but I do kind of miss seeing the Amber Wizard on the Griffin, because man, it is such a cool looking Griffin. Flock of Doom. I guess it's still a good choice if you needed to do a whole lot of terror. I like how the Harpies here too actually managed to hold up pretty much the entire army of Balthasar Gelt, which ends up being pretty worthwhile because it allows him to completely roll the remainder of Middenland, sorry. And at this point, the Beastmen picked up a pretty decisive victory against the forces of Middenland. What do we got coming over here? Searing Doom. Yeah, Searing Doom actually does some pretty decent damage these days. And the Flyers are going to get down here after the Ungor Raiders. And then the Demigryph Knights with Halberds just get completely surrounded here. Looks like Minotaurs with great weapons, Centaurs. Yeah, this is not a place that the Demigryphs want to be. They are completely surrounded. Now, here comes the assault up the hill into the remnants of Balthasar's forces, and then, into the Balthasar's forces and the remnants of Boris. Looks like we got an engagement of Bestigors here, going against Free Company Militia. Free Company Militia will be heavily outmatched. Morgur is pushing up the hill into heavy fire, but he has missile resistance. So I'm not sure that the missiles are going to do a whole heck of a lot to Morgur here. No, they're really not. So yeah, Morgur is pretty tanky. See, the Witch Hunters actually have, they have some kills here. If they've been using their accusation well, they need to be accusing Morgur of being a filthy beastman. Maybe Malagor actually would be an even better accused target because he would go down pretty easy since he doesn't heal. Yeah, the Beastmen assault is looking pretty good at the moment. Morgur gets up here. He's going to get surrounded, though. He got a little bit out of position. And that Amber Wizard's going to make him pay. Gelt coming in after some Harpies to try and save the Silver Bullets. But the Beastmen have a breakthrough. And here comes some Gore Herds with shields. And some Bestigor that have broken through. But these Free Company Militia shooting them in the back. Honor not even a thing right now. It looks like we're about to get a spell. Is there a spell? Yeah, Mantle of Garak, which is going to buff these guys up, but take away armor, which means that they should do some pretty tremendous damage, but it's going to make them even more vulnerable to these Free Company Militia. So they do more damage for a short period of time, but yeah, they were so vulnerable they got shot up. Not a spell that you see all the time, so it's interesting to see it used. It wasn't a big factor this time, and yeah, Witch Hunters can accuse all day long, but as you can imagine, just looking by the size of this fight, this is not really a place that Witch Hunters want to be. They might be able to accuse vampires and succeed, but that puny little pistol and accusation isn't going to much matter to Gorebull. He says, "I will be your emperor." Yeah, Witch Hunter is not enjoying life right now. The Cygor doing pretty good back here, 58 kills. The Demigryph Knights are back. And the end of this fight's actually ended up pretty close. The Empire forces under Boris. So Boris lost most of his army. Some of it has come back, but Boris himself is quite healthy, and so is Balthasar, which is keeping the balance changed. And then also these Free Company Militia are doing some serious work. Like right here where this Witch Hunter gets Malagor and these other units blobbed up, the Free Company Militia, are they able to fire? It looks like they should be firing. Maybe they're just out of range. No, they're in range. They're just not firing. So a mistake there for sure. And then Gorebull comes back in with his Somersault of Doom. That could have been a really good opportunity for this Free Company Militia, so that was a huge missed opportunity. And right here, these Free Company Militia, another missed opportunity because they should be shooting at Gorebull, who's now turned his attention towards them. Yeah, that Gorebull is just going to put an unreal beat down. And again, that magic earlier that was used from Balthasar to use a final transmutation on a Centaur probably should be used on these Gorebulls instead, because it would do good damage to the Gorebulls, who again can't heal themselves, and that kind of slowly takes its toll. The Cygor back here is now fighting Boris, who's handily winning, but not before the Cygor picked up a Chevron in 153 kills. You see, like right here, a final transmutation on those two Gorebulls and Malagor all together would have paid dividends. That would have been a huge spell. So a big miss on the part of the Empire, which is probably going to allow the Beastmen to take advantage of this. The Doomflock won't do a whole lot. It'll help get rid of some of the remaining infantry, but that would have been relatively easy anyway. The Gorebulls are the real problem here for the Empire. There are some halberds, quite a few halberds left. But there's also some Gore herds, or these look like Ungore herds. And another summoned Cygor. This is actually going to be extremely timely because we're talking about terror here now being induced with these flank attacks from the Cygor. The Amber Wizard is gone, And final transmutation now coming back. It was not overcast though. It did good damage, but if it would have been overcast, the damage would have been tremendous. And I think that, doesn't final transmutation hurt your own units in there too? Maybe they changed it, but I think it does. Still some Demigryph Knights, still a very healthy Boris who's going to get up here. But the Gorebulls and Malagor still in good shape. Balthasar keeping his distance in the air. Got a wind spell coming in here. I don't know what in the world that was. Then Balthasar is going to actually come down and try and commit against these Ungor herd. Not a bad choice to rear charge them. They have relatively low leadership. These halberds need to also be rear charging or helping over here against the Gorebulls. So another, or actually they're in a fight, my bad. I thought they were free. They're in a fight right here. So that's why they're not helping. Yeah, Boris is about to be in a world of hurt here. Demigryph Knights did some damage, but yeah, Boris is going to be surrounded by 2 Gorebulls, Malagor, and a Cygor. And as tough as he is, this is just not going to go well. 2 giant axes and a giant rock smashing your skull. Yeah, not a good place to be in life. Looks like we got some Sterlin's Revenge down here under fire from some Ungor Raiders. Or no, that's Sigmar's Sons, my bad. Got them confused. So yeah, Boris got knocked out in a big hurry. And that's going to probably help roll this back in favor. But I don't know, it still shows a very tight battle here. Boris is going to come back, and he is replenishing his health. We've still got a Free Company militia back here. The Sigmar's Sons right now is being wasted. It's just being shot in the back by Ungor Raiders. So in the late game, when you have a few units like this, this is a costly miss micro. So as you get into the later game, your micro technically should improve because you're having fewer and fewer units to control and fewer abilities. Boris dives in before he got a chance to heal here, and honestly, that may sling this battle against the Beastmen. Really, the only chance here was to get an overcast final transmutation, but considering there's already been 2 final transmutations, it's not likely that the Empire had enough magic left to pull that off. I suppose it's possible. But yeah, final transmutation against the Gorebulls and Malagor in an overcast fashion when they got blobbed up like that could have been the deciding factor here, I think, amongst a few other mistakes that we saw. But I think it would have been one of the deciding factors. There's a few Empire units. These Free Company militia are out of ammo. A few halberds. Again, not enough probably to swing this fight, especially considering the Ungor Raiders have ammo. This is going to be over pretty quickly for the Beastmen. Let's watch Balthasar try and be brave. He's like, yeah, never mind. They can have that. Never mind. The Supreme Patriarch needs to go back to his cathedral. Or, sorry, not his cathedral, his College of Magic. He's got a class to teach this afternoon. It's the art of how you can not be armored even though you're made of metal 101 with Balthasar Gelt as your professor. You have a metal face, but you don't have armor. Only Balthasar can pull off such an irony. Gorebull cares not for Balthasar's puny life. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this one. It's an interesting battle. Like, it had several phases there. Definitely mistakes on the part of both players, I think. But at the same time, it was a fun one. I like the themed matchup of Empire versus Beastmen. The fact that there was Witch Hunters, Balthasar, Boris leading Midland, you know, just cool stuff. I like seeing players put together, not necessarily some kind of perfect scenario, but a little more thematic games like that are always fun. Especially in a game that, you know, focuses around lore and stories, kind of like Warhammer does. So it's kind of like when you played the historical Total Wars and you would go for like historical matchups just for fun and historical alliances. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last stand for the Empire. Balthasar's not going to last long. We should have the chain route at any moment. Let's just watch Balthasar's final moments. Anyway, like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Appreciate it being submitted, and appreciate all the players here. SKW2, John Meskill, yeah, something. Ratcliffe and Ducks, whatever, Celeron. Thanks for playing, guys. It was fun. Enjoyed watching it. Let's look at the other Beastmen. Let's look at the kills here. So there was a Cygor. Yeah, this Cygor right here did a whole lot of work. And the army from Malagor, Gorebulls, did a pretty good job. This army was the one that attacked a little bit early, I think, and so it took a beating in the process. But if you look, I mean, Boris's army was held in terms of how effective it was. They did get some work done with Boris and the Amber Wizard. And then the other player here definitely put up the longer, or I would say the longer fight. Boris was in that fight till towards the end. It's just his actual infantry lines and stuff got beat up a little quicker. But anyway, it's a fun battle. What'd you all think? If you have any fun battles, feel free to submit them. If you have fun armies or anything you want me to see, I'll be playing more of my own. You know, like I said, I was just a little bit behind right now, which is why I was showing you another replay. But, you know, since you all do send me replays, I do like to get to them occasionally. So, like I said, if you have a fun one, let me know. Appreciate MSI sponsoring the channel. Thank you all for being here. You're awesome viewers. I love making this content for you, and I will see you next time.